Mitch, this first question, it dropped in during your segment, but Dan, if you want to give your input as well, we would love to hear it. And it was just asking, do you see cases involving allegations of breaches of fiduciary duty potentially increasing? And if so, what are the types of cases that you think we'll see moving forward?
Thank you for that. I do see them increasing. There were, in federal court, they probably doubled in the past couple of years. I did look at that recently as I was curious what the trends were, and I think in 2018 there was 120 fiduciary duty cases in the federal courts, and I know in 2020 there were 300, and so that's more than doubled. I don't know where we are in 2021, but I suspect we're on a trend. I know we're more than 120 over halfway through the year. I think we're on pace to hit probably close to that 300. Again, that's in federal court, and in state courts, you see more fiduciary duty claims in state courts than in federal courts because of the nature of the limited jurisdiction that federal courts have. So while I don't have numbers for state courts, I suspect and have seen a large number of filings in the jurisdictions in which I practice. And in terms of the types of cases, you know, I do think that, as I said in my presentation, that you're going to see more of these aiding and abetting claims. You're going to see more claims where they're looking for additional pockets, such as banks that might not have a direct fiduciary relationship, or, you know, the advisors, the accounting firms, the law firms that they're going to say were involved in the scheme or the alleged wrongdoing, the alleged fiduciary duty, even though they don't owe the duty themselves directly to the injured party. I have seen more and more of those cases and litigated more and more of those cases in the past 5 years, and I believe that trend is going to continue. And lastly, I think we're going to see more and more litigation arising out of COVID. I don't think that's over by any stretch. We've got a lot of COVID claims in the courts around the country, and more will be filed, and I do think we'll see more of that in the context of fiduciary duty litigation. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much for that, Mitch. Dan, do you have anything to add before?
Sure. I'm sorry. I started to talk over you. I agree with Mitch. And the other area I would say is just probate litigation. We had a baby boom. I'm at the tail end of it. So there are people that are remarrying, starting second families. I heard someone refer to that was another lifetime ago. I thought that was funny. There's a wealth transfer that someone's unhappy. We've got, like I've said, kids from first marriage not happy that second wife is getting money. And at least in Texas, that's one of the types of litigation that our Republican legislatures have not tort reformed away. So I think in addition to what Mitch just said, we're going to continue to see a lot of probate, guardianship type litigation as the baby boom ages, dies, and wealth distribution is not what somebody wanted it to be.
Thank you so much for that. And sorry, was there any other points before we move on?
No, I was just going to say that I agree. I'm seeing that as well. There's a lot of trust litigation and probate litigation in the Northeast as well.
Excellent. Another quick question. Dan, this dropped in during your segment, but Mitch, if you want to give your input as well, we would love to hear it. And it's just asking, Dan, in your experience, do jury trials of fiduciary duty cases present maybe different challenges than perhaps non-fiduciary business litigation trials?
I think they can and do. A lot of aspects is going to be the same, but if you're defending a fiduciary, certainly a lawyer, if I'm voir diring in a legal malpractice case, I usually point out that people hire a lawyer, most often it's one of three things. Someone's dead, someone's in jail, or someone's divorcing, and it's never good. But, you know, as litigators, we try to develop themes in a case. And if it's a fiduciary case, the theme of betrayal will always resonate, because I don't care who's on the jury. They have been betrayed by somebody they trusted at some point in their lives. So if you're the plaintiff's lawyer, that's great. You try to play into that. If you're the defense counsel, you've got to deal with that. You've got to address it, because everybody's going to have that background that they bring in of having been betrayed by somebody they trusted. That's one way that I think it's certainly a challenge to defend a fiduciary, because they have these high duties, and like I said, everybody's been betrayed at some point.